The weight of silence. The morning light filters through the sheer curtains of a minimalist apartment, casting long, soft shadows across the hardwood floor. A woman, whom we shall call the daughter, sits at a small wooden table, her hands wrapped around a warm ceramic mug. The silence is not empty. It is a heavy, deliberate choice she makes every day. She exhales slowly, watching the steam rise, savoring a peace that feels fragile, like glass held together by sheer will. A sharp vibration cuts through the stillness. On the table, a smartphone skitters across the wood, its screen glowing with an aggressive brightness. The display reads, "Incoming call, mother." The daughter does not reach for it. She watches the phone pulse, the light reflecting in her eyes. Each buzz feels like a physical blow to the boundary she has spent months building. She counts the seconds until the screen finally goes dark, leaving her in a deafening, ringing silence once more. Outside the apartment building, the brother stands on the sidewalk, looking up at the windows. He is dressed in a worn jacket, his face etched with a mixture of frustration and genuine concern. He checks his watch and then the intercom. He believes he is the messenger of peace, the bridge builder, but to the woman upstairs, he is the harbinger of a storm she is no longer prepared to weather. He presses the button for her unit, the sound echoing in his own ears. Inside, the daughter hears the sharp buzz of the intercom. She freezes, her breath hitching in her throat. She moves to the door, pressing her back against the cool wood, her eyes fixed on the small video monitor. She sees the brother's face, distorted and grainy. He looks tired. He looks like home, the kind of home that burns. She slides down the door until she is sitting on the floor, pulling her knees to her chest, refusing to let the sound of his voice through the speaker break her resolve. Miles away, in a house filled with the clutter of decades, the mother sits in a floral armchair. She holds her own phone, her thumb hovering over the redial button. Her face is a map of grief and indignation. She looks at a framed photo on the side table, a younger version of the daughter, smiling and compliant. To the mother, the silence is a weapon being used against her, a cruel mystery she refuses to solve by looking inward. She believes love is a debt that can never be fully repaid. Back at the apartment, the brother begins to speak into the intercom, his voice muffled by the thick door. "I know you're in there," he says, his tone shifting from pleading to demanding. "Mom isn't doing well. You can't just disappear. It's selfish." He pounds his fist once, lightly, against the doorframe. He isn't trying to hurt her. He is trying to wake up the person he used to know, unaware that she is finally wide awake for the first time in years. A memory flickers in the daughter's mind, unbidden and vivid. She is standing in the mother's kitchen years ago, the air thick with the smell of burnt sugar and old arguments. The mother is gesturing wildly, her voice a sharp edge, while the daughter stands small and silent, absorbing the blame for things she didn't do. It was the day she realized that her presence was only valued when it served as a vessel for someone else's emotions. The memory strengthens her grip on the present silence. The brother finally stops speaking. He sighs, a sound of total defeat that carries through the door. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small, handwritten envelope. He slides it under the door, a white sliver appearing on the daughter's floor like a surrender flag that feels more like a trap. He turns away and walks down the hallway, his footsteps fading into the distance. He has done his duty, leaving the weight of the family's expectations on her doorstep. The daughter stares at the envelope. She doesn't pick it up. She knows the words inside without reading them. Family, duty, forgiveness. She realizes that for them, forgiveness means returning to the way things were. For her, forgiveness was the act of walking away. She stands up, her joints stiff, and walks to the window. The guilt is there, a dull ache in her chest, but it is overshadowed by the profound clarity of her own safety. The sun sets, painting the room in deep purples and grays. The daughter sits back down at her table, the phone now silenced and tucked away in a drawer. She has chosen the quiet over the chaos, the isolation over the hurt. But as the night settles in, the question remains. She has saved herself, but at what cost to the ones who claim to love her? Does a person owe their identity to the family that raised them, or is the highest moral duty the preservation of one's own soul?